wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. I want to start off by thanking Schamrock and Augusta and Kala for bringing me here. It's really lovely to be here in person. As he said, I am Ethiopian, born and raised there, currently living in Kenya. I do dabble with all kinds of writings, and playwriting is a new art form that I've taken up this year. Hopefully I'll share more with Schamrock in time, and so you'll get to see my plays as well. But today I bring you a few poems. I'm going to start with one of the poems that I read back in 2020, because I feel like it's fitting, mainly because it is on my profile on the website. And I always feel like when people read my poetry and when they hear me performing it, it doesn't give the same effect, because I have a tendency to write with a lot of rhythm and flow, if you will. So here goes nothing. My hair is not a rebel, trust me. It sleeps when I tell it to, sits, stands, and rolls on my order. I can make it hard, thick, just as much as I can make it soft to fall on one shoulder. It does what I tell it to do whenever I tell it to do it. It is so obedient that once I give it the order, it won't change for shit. And in all honesty, sometimes it's too much to handle, so I simply let it be. It's a part of my essence encrypted in my DNA. It's a part of being me. I stand before you today, a determined voice, not a crack in my throat, to tell you that I love my hair. Dismissing my story based on the basis of I, according to you, have good hair is not fair. This black weight on my head has a story all its own. Had it been decades ago, would have gotten me disowned. And it's not like shit's changed, because what's good fucking hair to begin with? When you tell me how nice it looks, but teach me inadvertently to contain it. My hair is not a rebel. It's an army of warriors with my ancestors' blood written on each strand, ready to go to a war it didn't ask for, yet faithfully awaits my command. It's the forest that muffled the death of my ancestors on both sides. It beats the heart of great-grandmothers that would have not be taken for free rides. It's a pack of wolves ready to take in a child as their own. It's a black panther that watches over me so I don't stand alone. It is the bear that dances with me, that guards from the cold to keep me warm. It is the calm Dead Sea collecting the souls of my ancestors for the upcoming storm. It is the vultures flying over my head pointing towards the fire. It is the night sky that boasts the full moon, it doesn't retire. It is the snake, the spider, and everything in this world that is not right. It is, can you not see it as nature in all of its might? My hair is not a rebel. I can curl, twist, braid, cornrow, and iron straight flat. I can throw up or let it down, and it ain't the fucking dog that you can pat. I can put it in a bun, shorten, and even make it longer if I fucking please. So when I come with a lion's mane, don't fear it like it's some kind of disease. It ain't sick, it ain't ill, and it's sure as hell not disobedient. So don't go behind my back talking about how crazy my hair is, because it ain't lenient. Easy going by whose standards, though, because I didn't get the fucking memos. You must be judging the craziness of my hair based off of Garnier or Pantene marketing demos. But listen, why should I subjugate my hair to heat to make it look clean? Mind you, I said look clean. At this point, it doesn't matter if I don't wash for weeks as long as it doesn't look mean. Why should I feel uneasy about the texture of my natural hair for your comfort? Our type of hair you de-beautify with makeover shows, Jerry Springer and cops. Our type of hair you contort. My hair is not a rebel. It has every right to stand against the oppression you put it under. It has every right to run, flee, attack, and fight back, but never surrender. Because it is a sign that is not only has a mind of its own, but a heartbeat. It bleeds each time it is scorned and refuses to be imprisoned to undergo heat. Because it remembers those that have been burned alive for their difference, breathes freely for those that have been strangled, hung, and killed for their resistance. It resists in every form I make it morph into, because it's the only way it fights capitalism. It capitalizes on its ability to be okay with itself and break free from the ism. Simply put, it refuses to be named the good hair or a rebel. So it regularly trims away every single imposed label. No, my hair is not a rebel. My hair is not crazy. My hair isn't uncontainable. No, my hair is not impossible. My hair is not a petting zoo. My hair is not unstoppable. No, my hair is not resistant. My hair is not imposing. My hair is not an empty flattery. No, my hair is not a war zone. My hair is not a fight. My hair is not angry. No, my hair is not a rebel, but I am not my hair. Thank you. So in Ethiopia, just like in other parts of the world, we use a different calendar. And right now we're in 2015. And we usually get a lot of interesting comments. So that's what inspired this poem. Happy New Year, they said, with a smile on their face. It's 2015, they chuckle, as if we've been stuck in space. Happy 7 years ago, they laugh. You're 7 years younger. We smile, we accept with a wish to make us a little stronger. I wish I was 7 years younger. I would have had time. Time to make different decisions, just a little more time. 7 years ago, my father was still breathing, still alive. 7 years ago, people weren't fighting for their lives or fighting to survive. These wars hadn't erupted, the floods hadn't come. Bet. The lakes hadn't dried up and waters weren't fought over. Rains came before harvest and love wasn't just an album cover. Instagram and Facebook hadn't taken over people. Phone calls were still acceptable, relationships were slightly simple. Time wasn't divided up into 10-second attention spans on the clock. Dancing was still a night out affair and not a routine to learn on TikTok. 7 years ago, things like black people dying and racism were still inexistent, but only because this monstrosity hadn't become so blatant. Love is love was still considered an outright movement. Yet, we still have black men dying like fallen leaves on the pavement. These sidewalks are filled with broken dreams. These madmen still have tricks up their sleeves. 7 years ago, money was still value-added paper. 7 years ago, these streets weren't any safer. Women being harassed, groped, and silenced, because being loud isn't classy. The white hierarchy will take offense. So we mime our words and slap a smile on our lips. Hell, we only get recognized when we entertain with a mouthful of crisps. 7 years ago, people still died fighting for their lives. Come to think of it, 7 years ago, killings still happened on night drives. 7 years ago, the patriarchy still had madmen leading. 7 years ago, black-on-black crime was still inducing bleeding. 7 years ago, my great-grandmother was still alive, but she's dead now. Like the many who've gone before us, we show respect, but do we bow? Nah. We hold our head up, and we hold our chin up. We're proud, with a black eye and a broken nose, because we've been beat up. Like whack-a-mole, they take turns making us feel safe until we pop up. See, whack-a-mole isn't a game no more, it's animal cruelty, but we are still being jacked up. 7 years ago was exactly 2015 for me, but it's not a do-over. Entering 2015 and 2022 is a reminder that nothing is forever. Bottom line is, we are entering 2015, but it won't change the fact that it is 2022. It's 51-24, 14-61, it's 14-44, it's 47-20, it's 57-82. So if I'm not here to last and you're not here to last, remind me again why we're still killing each other over the past. Thank you. I only remember that I elbowed her into the bushes somewhere, punched the face a few times and grabbed her by the hair. I had warned her not to get on my nerves, to be honest, and she wouldn't listen. She was a constant nag with where were yous and where'd you goes, but listen. I told her repeatedly too to leave me alone because it only mattered that I came back. The time, who I was with, what I drank, or how much is not information for her to track. But she wouldn't listen, and now look at what she made me do. And I swear over my ancestors' grave that looked down at me, I loved you. But his weeping cries, almost melodiously painful, couldn't be heard by her, for she had already lain bare with the ancestors he was calling out for. The 3 policemen that faced him unfazed stood watching, with half a crock steer in their eyes and half a smirk on their lips for this crime of passion. Wasn't the first, nor will it be the last, for as long as men and women will roam this earth, man will covet another, and woman will lust after the other, forever it shall be since birth. One of the pigs, almost with certainty, exclaimed, pushing the killer's chin up. He was thoughtless, unbelieving of his own hands' actions, one eye tearing, looked up. It was him, the man he saw that night with her, but who would believe him? He was half unconscious, dragging his feet and intoxicated to the brim. They called it a crime of passion because it was easy to categorize. He was certain he had done it because he had believed in their lies. She was dead, definitely breathless, laid in a dark bush, lifeless. He was incarcerated, hands in cuffs and chained down, heartless. The killer was facing him as free as they come, and only because he could. We call it crime of passion, and because it's easy, everybody would. But passion, it has none, since neither passion nor love can kill. If only the dead could speak just once, if mouths could move with the body dead still, we would know exactly why all the million women died. Why have all the million women died? If I had a daughter, I wouldn't have lied. Just like everyone always does, I wouldn't tell her it was a crime of passion, baby. Why? So she'd grow up believing that love kills, lovers cheat, and passion is deadly? Hell to the no-no. I would tell her the truth as brutally as I could, for her sake. Here it goes. This life is really what you make it, honey, but some will always try and snatch what you have worked hard to achieve, always. Ignore those that will tirelessly trip you every move, religiously marking your steps as a cheetah would mark each of its preys. Learn with your eyes wide open and with your heart even wider, because you don't learn with your brain, but absorb knowledge through your soul. Be fearless. Gut those hungry hyenas and castrate those motherfuckers without flinching an eye, because you're mine and you are whole. Tell them your mother was the greatest warrior to have ever walked this earth, and that your grandmothers are their worst nightmare. Live your life as you see fit. Travel alone, it's not scary. And love until your heart beats. It's way out of your chest, almost. You would still want it to keep beating when you discover the world and everything it offers, because to live life, honey, it has no cost. Most of all, darling, laugh. It is the best medicine. It will heal even the biggest heartaches and shameless hangovers. Oh, and those, have as many as you wish. Get drunk, dance about, and even get home at 7 in the morning to have leftovers. Tell yourself that it's okay to make a fool of yourself every once in a while. Just be careful not to fall in the traps of the wolf. I don't want you to end up like Little Red Riding Hood, so I am telling you all the truth I know for you to take care of your own damn self. Then I will ask her what she's in the mood for and head on down to the kitchen and get started on something we can bake. Thank you. This one is about corporate malfeasance, if I can call it that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of pressures in the world right now, post-COVID and the economic crisis and everything. And specifically in Kenya, the rise of suicide rates in men is really alarming. So I've merged both ideas into one poem. It might be a little heavy. I do apologize. See, the story is simple, mainly because it's a testimony. 2 years ago, I was left to my own demise. I was barely 30. I felt alone, forgotten, thrown away, and eerily discarded. For someone who's always surrounded, I was abandoned. I was so tired of fighting. I had been up in arms for 3 years. I'd written emails, screamed on calls and meetings to managers, pretending to be all ears. I'd get a pat on the back, a good job, Christine. Thank you for flagging it up. What astute observation, you're keen. So I went on writing emails and pointing at shit to get cleaned, not knowing that that's how I prepared my neck to get pinned. So they did me wrong. It was a corporate whack-a-mole, and not the kind that for treason you pin to a pole. Set up for failure with strokes along the hairline, a messenger, an agent. Little did I know they'd only needed my good nature to distribute the Kool-Aid laced with detergent. You're such a motivator, they said, so upbeat and so cheerful. You're always smiling, you're a breath of fresh air, it's tasteful. Oh, Christine, you make everyone feel so welcome, you're kind. But when I'm unhappy with your shit that's stinking, I'm out of my mind. So what am I, a corporate mascot to ease the pain of losing? We could argue it's an away game, but it's not like we can play at home, it's a luxury to be choosing. And you're all comfortably sat on your high beaming ladders looking down, extending smiles for silenced voices, and the troublemakers get a frown. So much for freedom of expression in a house that belts discontent, slapping warnings and disciplinary actions padded with condolence handouts under a tent, Zoom calls, memory books, and weeping ceremonies for a soul who tirelessly served and ended up getting tired of your pennies. It's a personal problem, you said. It must have been. Because like Pilate, you'd rather wash your hands when you're seen. If questions arise and people revolt, God forbid, you've got your box-ticking exercises that you've hid. And like a joker, you pull it out when the tables seem to shake, because you can't be the one in the oven when the people decide to bake. Accountability, we yell, we write, we video, but it's a one-way street, because impartiality only works when it's approved by Downing Street. Was he a pawn? Or like Jesus, was he the one you decided to hang? Your hands are clean though, because it's a personal decision. Bang. Prevention is the only method that can save lives, yet you hide behind only the strong survive. Fine. You had options, and so many, but you've chosen your path. Karma is a god that will give you in this life a well-deserving wrath. So for now, I'll leave you alone before you slap me into conformity. Let's refocus on the black men we keep losing in this society. How many more will succumb to pain and choose an exit? How long does it take? I mean, we've seen how long it took for Brexit. So where do we start addressing unnecessary pressures? Mean and vindictive managers and leaders of lips rather than gestures. Aren't you tired? I'm exhausted, fam. It's double-edged swords. All I have to give is this bleeding pen and painfully broken words. This is going to be the last one. When I was making my way here, I realized that not only the passport you hold, but sometimes the color of your skin also matters. We knew this already, right? So why was I surprised? Anyway, so I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. I am expected to be gentle, always smiling and somehow sweet. They want me to nod in agreement, accept defeat. Because after all, I am a woman, I am single, childless, and black. Always surrounded, but almost alone with no one to have my back. So when they attack, when they hit, they sneer, they slap, I'm supposed to smile, keep my cool, and give the second cheek for them to take another swap. I'm not bitter. But this world has made me have a tone. I don't even break my eyelids to show that I'm innocent. I give them the death stare because I refuse to be complacent. Yes, I bite, I fight, I punch back, and I snap back. I can no longer bend when all the odds are piled up in a stack. Think about it. 30 people in front of you, and you're the one they interrogate. Where are you going? Why are you going there? To do what? Where's your return ticket? I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. See, instead of, oh, I'm going to a poetry festival, it's so exciting. I'm going to a poetry festival. I'm a writer, I respond. And though the lady who is a year or two older than I is only doing her job, I wouldn't have been stopped if I was white, maybe blonde, and my name was Billy Bob. But I'm not bitter. This world has made me have a tone. 4 passports, all stapled together, filled with visas from everywhere. US, UK, Europe, Asia, and Middle East, and I still can't go anywhere. Of course, I travel. This can't stop me, but it's a turn-off. It leaves an aftertaste, like healing from pneumonia and remaining with the cough. I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. They push my buttons, try to cheat me, and they try me. But my response, although equal to the treatment, isn't free. It's released to come back with loaded statements and judgment. She's rude. She's mean. Did you hear her? Oh my God, she's a bitch. How dare she? Who does she think she is? She has mood swings and a personality switch. I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. My great ideas are stolen from right under my nose. They are repurposed by men, and when I call them out, they pause and say, I'm no team player if recognition is what's important, but what's the purpose of my presence if my contribution isn't potent? I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. It's shown me beauty and simultaneously given me the ugly. It's dangled greatness and immediately left me empty. It has time and time again answered all of my wishes and prayers, and at the same moment, it's taken everything and in arrears. See, I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. I'm not sure how to fix this sternness in my voice. I don't know how to undo this frowning forehead, and yet it is a choice. Every day I want to wake up unbothered by all of it. And every day life keeps giving me chocolate wrapped in smelly shit. But don't get me wrong, I'm not bitter, but this world has made me have a tone. So I keep on moving on.